I want to share 3 regrets I've had about planning for retirement. When I first got married back in my early 20s, like most people, retirement wasn't on my mind. So we didn't really plan or save for anything. We were just a young family starting out, and I wasn't making a lot of money at the time, so we didn't start a retirement plan. But soon after we bought our first house, probably in our mid 20s, we did start saving money in a IRA, and it was only $50 a month, and we did this for probably about 5 or 6 years. But life came along. Our daughters started getting older, and bills started getting tighter, and so we kind of backed off, and we even used the funds to fix air conditioning and other things like that. So we just kind of squandered it away. Throughout our 30s, same thing. There was so much life going on. We didn't prioritize it. Retirement seemed like a million years away. Back in 2008, my wife went to work for a local bank, and that bank provided a 401k system where she could do a match, which she started doing. And she's done ever since. So it's been around 17, 18 years there. And about that time, both I and my wife opened up Roth IRAs and started contributing to those. Now, we didn't do it to the full amount, but we still did some. Probably around 2015, I decided to buy a building. I had been renting from my uncle for years, for about 20 years or so, and I was ready to buy a building. And so I pulled out some of my money, about $10,000 from our Roth, or my Roth, and put it as a down payment on this building that I'm in now. Now, when I did that, I had the wild idea to stop contributing to our Roth accounts and try to pay this building off quick, which we did. We was able to pay it off in about 5 years or less. The problem was we didn't restart putting back into our Roths again. So that was one mistake. Compounding to that is that what Roth money we did have, we didn't manage properly. Now I put that on me because that was kind of my thing to do. I just put it in some funds that I thought were going to be good, and at the time they seemed to be doing good, and then I just forgot about them. Now I should mention that right about the time we started putting into those Roths was during the 2008 crash, and I had to hold my nose for a while doing it, because while we were putting money in, the market was dramatically going down from 12,000 to around 6,500 in that area. But I understood that I had a lot of years to go before retirement, and that what goes down must go up. And I was convinced, and by other people, and just naturally that at least I'm buying shares cheaper, and eventually they'll go up. So I just stayed with it. But when the market got to around 12,000, I started panicking a little bit, thinking, wow, this is going to have to take a drop. I mean, this thing's skyrocketed it up, is almost doubled from its 6,000 low. So I ended up backing our investments into bonds. As most people know, the market still continued to climb, went from 12 and even went all the way up to 26,000. And this is where, back in 2022, I believe, that it took that pretty good little drop down to 19. And at that time, I thought, wait, let's get back in. This is probably a good opportunity. And I was lucky. I got back in right at the low of it at 19. I'd put my money back into in funds that were just not performing well. So I lost some gains there. Fast forward to 2025, I stepped back and thought, I need to start taking a real hard look at my investments and getting prepared for retirement. And one of the things I did was go in and look at my funds and said, this has got to change. So I ended up putting those funds into an index fund. And that decision has paid off pretty good in the last year. So, and that's kind of where we're at. So that combination of 3 mistakes has held us back. You know, not starting early enough, not sticking with it, trying to time the market was a big mistake, and not managing the funds that were in there. So those are 3 mistakes that I've made. Despite these mistakes, we've been able to grow a modest portfolio. And along with, you know, a paid off building, we're going to have some additional income in retirement other than Social Security. To you youngsters out there, you should heed the warning of us old people. Too many of us have got to the age of 60 unprepared for retirement. And probably every one of us, if we could go back 40 years or 30 years, we would change that. I really hope that you heed these warnings from us older people, that start early and treat it like a regular bill. Treat it like a part of your house payment. If it means that you have to go from a $1,500 house payment to a $1,300 house payment and put $200 into your savings or into your investments, you will wish you did it. I promise you, you will wish you did it. I've got a lot more to discuss on this channel before I retire. I've got a lot more challenges to deal with, and I'll be sharing them here. So if you want to watch how this unfolds, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.